as we bring you week number 3 of the Bryant Bell Coaches Show back on our normal Thursday night. Glad to be with you. Want to encourage you to come join us wherever you are. If you haven't eaten supper yet, and I hope you haven't, I know we haven't, we're certainly inviting you to come join us here at Jim Deggys and have a slice of great pizza. They also have a lot of other items beyond pizza that I think you would like as well. But that's what they're best known for is their great brick oven wood-fired pizza. So I encourage you to come join us here. Jim Deggys has been our home for the Bryant Bell Coaches Show for the last 3 years. And certainly, Coach, excited to be back here again. And good to be back with you as we hit week number 3. Week number 3 has a lot of emotions for Pineville Rebel fans, and I know for you as well, and we'll get into that as it is Tioga week this week for week number 3. We'll get into that with the coach, but also like we normally do, we like to go back and visit a little bit about the previous week's game, and it was kind of unusual for Nathan and I because we were both out of town, and we were at a men's retreat that we had both committed to go to and be a part of, and the thing about that, Coach, is you're not supposed to have your cell phone. And so I got to the point where, late at night, when folks were supposed to be asleep, I pulled, I have 2 phones, so, I was able to pull that out. And I got to admit, I was shocked when I looked at the score and I thought, okay, that can't be right, and it was just weird not being where we normally would be on a Friday night. But as it turns out, once I got to read the postscript, it was a weird game all the way around.
It was, starting with a lightning delay and a rain-drenched field to start with and get it nice and slippery for both teams that kind of fumbled around literally through the first half. And, they outlasted us in the end in a game that could have gone either way. And life moves on to Tioga this week.
Sure. We do want to take a couple of minutes and kind of recap things a little bit. And you talk about that, Coach, we – in baseball, you would say it was a no-hitter of sorts, a defensive game and so forth. But now that I know the elements kind of played into that, for the game there was 11 fumbles of the football, including a big one for us in the fourth quarter that, when it seemed like we had the momentum, 7 turnovers between the two teams as well, and only 2 points scored going into the fourth quarter. You had to think, Coach, going into the fourth quarter, we got them right where we want them.
Yeah, it seemed that way.
Yeah.
We had momentum, but that's the game. We were 35 yards away from taking the lead deep in the fourth quarter, and if we do that, we're sitting here as a 2-0 football team. But the message to our team was, we're still the same team. We're still the same team whether we drove 35 yards or not. And it was a good game by Menard. Menard played really hard, and as did we, and in a game that could have gone either way. And unfortunately, on that one particular night, it didn't go our way.
And playing a local school certainly brings a lot to both the gate as well as to the atmosphere, and we'll have that same thing this week when we go out to Tioga to play, that it's a 5-minute drive if traffic is really backed up. I mean, it's not that long to get there, but that does work good when you can have, local opponents that you can play. And in Menard's case, they were looking for their first win after losing in week number 1. And, it certainly the elements play a little bit into that. But Coach, I know you talked about this too. The coach takes the responsibility for having his team ready on Friday nights.
I took, and I still take full responsibility. It's like I told our team after the game, completely on me, but also take responsibility for having them ready tomorrow night. And I feel like we're ready to go.
We welcome you to the Bryant Bell Coaches Show as we are broadcasting live from Jim Deggys Pizza on Highway 28 East. Want to encourage you to come and join us here as we are working through our broadcast and again with a lot of new toys for us to try to put things on, and sometimes you got to remember to push the cord in all the way to make that work as far as our in-house sound is concerned. But I've got that fixed now, and I appreciate that. But we welcome you into our coaches show. We're recapping the Menard Pineville game this past Friday night. Pineville coming up short in that game, 16-7. But again, only 2 points going into the fourth quarter between the two teams. And Coach, in the fourth quarter, after Menard took the ball and early in the fourth and went down the field, it on the ground and the scoring. Cooper Scott was their big man for the game. It seemed to motivate the Rebels to come back, because you guys in turn, after that Menard touchdown, the first touchdown of the game, Pineville came back and drove, and most of that was through the air.
Hey, I was glad to see our team respond, and we drove down and got a crucial touchdown, and we're, like I said, was 35 yards from another touchdown. So we're going to work on some things and try to capitalize better on those opportunities in the future.
Coach, a quick question for you. A lot of times in coming up into this season, we've talked about your typical game plan is the running, pounding, and yet what seemed to be most effective on that particular drive was the passing. Do you think you caught them off guard? Do you think our guys just got fired up? What caused that identity shift there on that drive?
I think it's some of both. Nobody in the stadium expected us to come out gunning on that particular series, and we did, and we caught lightning in a bottle there, and it's something that it's an aspect of our game that when you run the ball, it's, you can throw it over some people's head, and we were happy to do so.
Well, and one of our guests tonight was a recipient of a couple of those passes, especially a couple of deep passes, and that's Landon Roberts. We'll look forward to visiting with him a little bit later in the show. But we talk about that passing aspect for this Pineville team, and I know that while you have a senior that's very experienced throwing the ball, your receivers are, still getting used to receiving that ball from the lefty. That he can sling the rock, no doubt about that.
He has a strong arm. That's his best attribute, his best physical attribute, besides being a good leader and a good teammate.
But you see some of your younger receivers like Garrett Jackson, like Landon Roberts, Landon Grimes as well. Getting, they definitely got some touches that really ignited the crowd, there, that got doused with rain before the start of the game. But really, from everything I heard and watching back on the replay, the crowd was really in it in that fourth quarter. It was like the offenses woke up, and so did the crowd.
They did. It always seems like that goes hand in hand. As an old defensive guy, nobody
right.
really cares about us
right.
on defense, but we say it on every show that our crowd is the best, and we're working hard to energize them and keep them energized.
Well, no doubt about that, and again, we look forward to visiting with Landon Roberts in just a little bit, and we'll talk to him about that after the score that the Rebels had. They then. The defense, which obviously had been playing big throughout the night, forced a 3-and-out and got the Rebels the ball back. And again, here you're thinking, okay, we may have waited to close to the end, but here we come. And then again, it was the young man that I talked about, Cooper Scott, who ripped the ball out of normally a pretty sure-handed senior fullback, and that created the turnover that ultimately, put us in the position to lose the game.
Yeah, I want to say this. Sebastian the week before had 100 yards rushing, and he's one of our bell cows on our team, and
no doubt.
We certainly don't fault him for anything when it comes to that. We wouldn't have been in a position to even think about going in for a score had it not been for him. And he has nothing to hang his head about on that one play.
Well, and oddly enough about that, you think about the week before, the snatch and score, as Rich dubbed it on the air, snatch and score, and then we have a snatch and score against us. It was our play of the game in week one. Mm-hmm. It was their play of the game in week two.
Well, and I'll also say this, the young man that made the play said after the game it was lucky on his part, but had he not stripped the ball, Mollett was going to score.
Yeah,
so I thought that was a nice recognition by a young man that was getting heaped praise on him for that strip, and that led to the Menard score. And when he said it came down to it, one, it was luck. Two, he said either I was going to strip it and score, or he was going to score. So
I've never met Cooper, but I've heard great things about his character. And
I have too. I have friends that tell me a lot about him.
We enjoy playing against people like that.
Indeed. So that does put a wrap, if you will, on the Menard game. Again, from a defensive perspective, both teams, created turnovers, forced fumbles, and your defense obviously is still coming together. But while you maybe weren't happy on the offensive side of it, defense certainly did keep us in the game.
In football, there's a saying that, defense is further along at the beginning of the season. It just takes a little time for offense to kind of catch up. And, we're working hard and tweaking things around, and we're confident that we're going to be better this week. And, that defense is going to keep us in the game again and give us another opportunity to win.
Well, we do look forward to that. So Menard game is behind us. Week number 2 now officially for us, since we have recapped it in segment number 1 like we normally do, is in the books. And so, again, final score, Menard 16, Pineville 7. We will take a timeout here, and when we come back, we'll open up and talk about this week's game that has had my partner Nathan Martin working on some very creative graphics. We'll talk about that and much more when we come back. Stay with us. It's the Bryant Bell Coaches Show, live from Jim Deggys Pizza, located in the Skyline Plaza here on Highway 28 East. Want to invite you to come have a slice of pizza with us, enjoy a great time, visit with some of the football players and coaches that are here, and enjoy supporting a business that supports Pineville High School and the city of Pineville. That's Jim Deggys Pizza. We are live on 446 Sports.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin. An idea created by 2 walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
here in the Skyline Plaza on Highway 28 East. It's the Bryant Bell Coaches Show. It's week number 3, and as you pick out the schedule and look at it at the beginning of the season, there is no doubt when you think about, we're going to play Ash and we're going to play Menard and, we're going to play some other schools that you recognize also from the district schedule as well. We had Ash in the Jamboree, and that was a good opportunity as well for local fans on both sides of the river to come out. But Coach, when you look at week number 3, September the 15th, it's the Tioga Indians that are on the schedule, and all 3 of us have connections to Tioga High School and everything. But you have one from the coaching perspective, as you spent several seasons there.
Yeah, I spent 6 years there as a defensive coordinator, and went to the quarterfinals in 2020, and it was it kind of culminated from there. And Coach Cook gave me my first defensive coordinator opportunity. I wouldn't be sitting here, had it not been for him, working with him for 7 years, and still maintain a good relationship with him, and hopefully always will.
So is it kind of like a rivalry week per se that you may talk the other 9 weeks of the season, but you don't talk that week of the season?
No. Coach Cook and I have spoken a couple times.
Okay, I'm just wondering
on the phone,
if it worked that way or not. So
I guess it makes for good TV and entertainment if we hate each other and argue, but.
I'm trying to goat you a little bit, but you're not falling for it. So
no, for us, it's we're just trying to get both of our teams as prepared as possible, and hopefully there's a little bit of rivalry sense with the community and the schools, and it'll make for a good football game on Friday night.
And the coaching trees as well of both staffs have spent time at both places. I mean, you've got Pineville graduates that are coaching at Tioga, and you've got Tioga coaches that are either have coached there or played there that are on Pineville staff. So I mean that's an interesting dynamic too.
We know each other well.
I got you,
and that makes for a good football game as well. I mean, there's good coaches on both sides at both schools, and I think that each school is lucky to have the coaches that they do have.
Oh, no doubt. And another coach speak, if you will, that when you have 2 teams that are so close to each other in proximity, a lot of these kids go to church together, have played Little League together, Red River Football League together, baseball as well. And but now that they're on the high school level, they're more defined by whether they're a Rebel or an Indian. When you talk about rivalries, normally the coach says that doesn't matter what the records are when 2 rivals play each other. Do you see that as kind of the case too? That the motivation is there maybe a little bit more this week than what it normally is?
I think so. I think nowadays through social media and open enrollment,
right?
I mean, some of these kids may literally be next door neighbors to each other and go to 2 different schools, and man, I think they want to prove themselves just like we always did. It's not like the 90s, growing up in West Monroe where, you hated Neville, you hated their guts, and and they likewise hated us too.
Right.
So the motivation is different, but the intensity is the same.
And of course, those schools were separated a good bit. These guys are right up the road. I mean, they're as the crow would fly, not far away at all. And the way that we as a community on the north side of the river do support each other is probably the one week we don't. But
that's right.
It is amazing, to see that. And Coach, I want to ask too from. I was texting you earlier in the week, Nathan and I've had some members of the media that were texting. So what's the name of y'all's rivalry? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, let's come up with something. So, Nathan and I were throwing different ideas back and forth, and you want to come up with something catchy and something that that is reflective of using the word North Side, and so we're.
Oh, and I don't have it ready to go. My gosh,
you
queued me up a while ago, and I was so.
That's okay.
I did every other grab. I got it. Just give me a minute.
Okay. All right. So I'll go a different direction then. So, Coach, tell me a little bit about what you've seen. Obviously, you've got 2 weeks of tape to look at from them. They have ours as well. But tell me about this Tioga team.
Well, they're going to spread it out to run it on offense. They have probably the strength of their team is actually their receivers. They have some good receivers and a young quarterback,
sophomore.
Case Malone actually coached both of his older brothers. One at Pineville, when I was here the first time, and a second one was one of the grittiest players I've ever coached, Corbin Malone at Tioga. And I'm from what I see on video, little brother, baby brother follows in their footsteps, and he's going to be a tough quarterback. He's young, but he's going to be something special. On defense, they're just super athletic. They have a really good player that actually plays full time both ways at receiver and safety. He's number one. Jacorian Norris, I believe, is his name. He's a heck of an athlete, and they're super athletic, and they play the game the right way, and we're going to have to match that to have a chance.
You will be playing, at Tioga. Obviously it'll be a great crowd on both sides. You're playing on turf, which hasn't been the case these first couple of games, and you throw in Jamboree as well. Do you prepare any differently, knowing that you're going to be playing on turf this week?
No, we
practices at LCU or anything?
No,
okay.
we stay consistent and do what we can do at our home place.
I got you. Well, just thinking, that might be something to think about. And as I watch our friends at Ash get their turf down finally, and they've been waiting on that for the longest time, and Peabody as well that has turf now, and there you still hear all the pros and cons both ways about turf or no turf, and but it will be something we'll be playing on Friday night. And if we get a little bit of a downpour like we got last Friday night before the Pineville Menard game, hopefully it would not have the same effect on a turf field that it does on a natural surface.
The technology of this turf nowadays, it's
right.
made rain obsolete. It's an obsolete factor on the turf field. So rain or shine,
they drain so well. So
right.
That question though really came big when Aaron Rodgers got hurt. A lot of folks have been talking on the pro level. Their players are asking for them to get rid of that. So what is?
Well, I think when a 350-pound guy drops on the back of a 39-year-old's ankle, stuff's gonna pop. So if they dropped on my leg or David Morrow's leg or Nathan your leg, then something's gonna pop. And in the case with Aaron Rodgers, you got to see it do that. But an unfortunate injury for him, and but I would say I hear what you're saying from the standpoint of what some of the pros were saying, but at the same time, a lot more of them have covered stadiums that they can play in. We're not going to get that on the high school level, unfortunately. Certainly not here in Central Louisiana. Talking with Head Coach Bryant Bell, along with Nathan Martin. I'm Rich Dupree. Thanks for joining us here on the Bryant Bell Coaches Show. The graphic that we talked about that we worked on, and Nathan's got it ready to go, and he went and found it. And
ready?
Yeah,
let's
show it to the.
Here we go.
Show it to the home audience there. So it is. It's being dubbed the North Side Knockout, and it's got the two helmets in the ring, and Pineville versus Tioga. And so it looks great. We'll have to share that on social media later tonight and get that out there, because the folks that are sitting here in the audience can't see what we're looking at on our monitor.
After all that work, we're going to have to get a conference monitor for all those
That's
folks.
right, or figure out how we can put it on one of those 3 TVs up there,
Right.
So that's something that we'll try to figure out for the next time that we're here. But yeah, I had KALB, and I also had Brett McCormick asking me, what's the name of the rivalry? And, I didn't have a name. So I think Dylan used it for sure, and I'll have to wait and see if Brett does too. And it's certainly great to have Brett covering games for the Rapides Parish Journal and helping push electronically some information out there on Fridays. He's putting out the games that are coming up and on previews of those games. And on Mondays, he's pushing recaps and talking to coaches at all the local schools to get that out there. And unfortunately, that's filling a void that has been left on the print side of things. And, of course, obviously KALB is still out there doing what they do, and I'm sure KLAX does too. But to at least have something like that, appreciate what Brett and the folks are doing through that particular venue. So, again, Tioga coming up this week. Tioga, Pineville, you'll see the games through the formats that we have through 446 Sports. You can find the game live on Facebook. You can also find it through YouTube and on Twitter as well. Great ways to connect. So, again, using all 3 of those different platforms, courtesy of 446 Sports. And once you go to 446sports.com, you'll find a drop-down menu of the 5 schools that we cover, and you will be able to then click on that school and be able to follow the game. And we'll be on the air with you starting 6:45. Is that what we're doing on Friday night? So encourage you to join us for that, and the kickoff at 7 o'clock, barring any lightning delays. So keep that in mind. Coming up next, we'll be we'll be going 4 wide here on the set and talking with one of Pineville's outstanding young men that is a part of this team. He is a senior and a wide receiver. He's number 1 on our program. His name's Landon Roberts. We look forward to visiting with him. Stay with us. This is the Bryant Bell Coaches Show, live from Jim Deggys Pizza, where we come to you on Thursday nights from 6 to 7 right here on 446 Sports.
Is your vision just for a lifetime of the best possible vision? Look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
And we welcome you back to Jim Deggys Pizza, where we are broadcasting live on 446 Sports. Good to be able to bring you our week number 3 broadcast of the Bryant Bell Coaches Show, getting you ready for Friday night football. And this week, the Rebels on the road, if you will, traveling up 165, just not too far, to Tioga High School. Be a great time to come out. The weather is certainly looking to cooperate, and be a good time to come out and enjoy high school football. And we're really excited to be joined by Landon Roberts. He is a senior wide receiver for the Pineville Rebels, and certainly good to welcome you to the broadcast. And tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, this is a good opportunity. Your senior year, you get an opportunity to show what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, we've planned for a long time to show what we can really do, and I'm just glad now that we get to show it not only to ourselves at practice, but to everybody else. And I feel like this year we have a really well put together team, but I mean, obviously it's not just me. One guy can't win a game, and so it really just falls back on our coaches and falls back on who we are as players. And I won player of the game, but I also want to shout out Brendan Davis, who was also here. It was the first time since I've been here that we've had 2 players of the game. Because, I mean, when he was backed up, he made good punts to give our defense good field position.
Player of the game, Nathan, if we want, at Quibido's Cajun Cafe. And so player of the week for last week was number 1, Landon Roberts. And a big shout out to our friends at Quibido's, and Landon getting the opportunity to have that honor this week. And at the end of the season, we'll have all of the players of the week for each school there for a opportunity to crown a player of the year from all of those that have won the individual awards this football season. Coach Bell, you select the players to come and join us here on this particular platform. Tell me a little bit about what number 1 means to you.
Well, I'll tell you this. After our game last Friday, obviously we were all disappointed, and I had the opportunity to talk to Landon just one-on-one last Saturday for about an hour. And sometimes as a leader, you're not the boss. Sometimes there's a difference in a boss and a leader, and sometimes you just need to listen. And it was good for me to listen to what Landon had to say and a few other key members of our respected members of our team, and that's something that he probably doesn't think much of, but it meant a lot to me on Saturday morning. And we've been able to have a good week of practice because of player leadership on our team, and that's what he represents. He's a positive guy that always picks his team up. He's everything that he is because of just hard work and dedication. He's the epitome of what a Pineville Rebel football player is.
Well, that certainly is good to hear. He thought you had a typo, though, on the roster. He was saying he thought he was 6'4", but you got 5'8" on the roster. I'm not sure.
The weight's a little off, too.
Weight's a little off, too. Maybe the numbers got inverted somehow. But I love that. I mean, Landon questioning that right off the bat there, so that's good. But, Landon, from you are a senior, and you're getting an opportunity to be a starter on this Rebel team. You've waited your turn to move into that position. You've got a quarterback that's very seasoned as well, that can one of his biggest strengths is his arm. And in the fourth quarter, you saw that last Friday night. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, me and Woody have worked together for about 2-3 years now. Not just in practice, but out of practice. And, I mean, I feel like that really helped with our chemistry on the field, as you could tell. I mean, I knew where he was going to be, and he knew where I was. Even if I wasn't in the right spot, I found a way to get there. And, I mean, that just goes back to us practicing together day in and day out. I mean, sweating in the heat when it's 110 degrees outside. We probably shouldn't be playing, but, sometimes you just have to go out there and do it, even if you don't want to. And, I mean, being a senior on this team means, it's a tall task. Because, you kind of feel like a lot of pressure's on you, but I'm one of the people, it's like, it's not really what the pressure does to you, it's how you respond to the pressure, and you're either going to let it beat you down or you're going to get up and you're going to fight back. And I really feel like this team is a team of fighters, And that's the word of the week this week was fighters, because we're going to have to go in that team. We're going to have to go up against Tioga, and we're going to have to fight, and that's what I plan on doing.
So Tioga week, we talk about that, and for Nathan and I as Pineville graduates, and Robert and Landon as well, our broadcast team, that's something that means something to us. Coach Bell, had the opportunity as an assistant coach early in his career, and now an opportunity where his family is really embracing being the leader of our Pineville football program and everything. But what to Landon Roberts, what does the Tioga game mean to you? And I've got to assume that players on the squad. Tell me how all that mixes into the emotions getting ready for Friday night.
Yeah, I know a few of their players. I've seen them outside of school here and there, but I mean, when you step on that field, you can become friends after and you're friends before. But when that first whistle blows, it's me against you, my team versus yours, and I'm gonna ride behind my team no matter what. But I like
that. Yeah.
Coming into this game, very important to me. I really want this win, not for myself, but for my team also, because I've been here for 4 years and we've never had the chance of beating Tioga. But I feel like this year we have a really good chance, and I'm just really excited to go play.
I like that, Coach. You've got to like that too. I mean, that's what you want your senior leadership talking about, but hopefully that trickles down to the other kids as well that maybe hung their head a little bit after the Menard game. That you wash that out and you get ready for this week.
Sure, Landon's a leader on our team, and I can say something until I'm blue in the face, and but if people like Landon don't believe in that and push that forward, that sentiment forward, wherever that may be, then it falls on deaf ears. And I mean, Landon's he's certainly a leader on our team.
No doubt about that. Landon, player of the week for the Rebels in a game that was very slow offensively till it got into the fourth quarter, and then the Rebels did some things, through the air that Landon certainly was a recipient of, and we're certainly happy to recognize him as player of the game, sponsored by Quibido's Cajun Cafe. Landon, I always like to ask our players, you've obviously had a couple of years now with Coach Bell in your ear, and being that now he said some nice things about you a little bit earlier, but just don't let that play into this, okay? We want to hear from you, your maybe funniest or your favorite story that you can remember in your time of about Coach Bryant Bell.
Well, probably one of my favorite memories is Coach Bell when he gets fired up. It's go, 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 go all the time. That's all you'll hear. And then another one is when we're all running around the field, because we don't walk on the field around here. So when we're running around the field, the way he runs sometimes, like there's no gravity. Like it's just like slow-mo running, perfect form and everything. And it's just hilarious to watch.
Been that way my whole life, so I shouldn't be any different now.
I can hear Chariots of Fire playing in the background as he's going across the field. So, well, Landon, appreciate that. I got to admit that's the first time I've heard that one this season, or this time we've been doing this. I've heard a few weird stories, but I've heard the go go go, but I will now think every time I hear Chariots of Fire, Coach Bell just going across the field. So, well, best of luck to you this week, and let's do exactly what you said, and let's go beat those Indians this Friday night.
Plan. Let's go get after it.
Very good. Landon Roberts, our Quibido's Cajun Cafe Player of the Week. We'll take this time out, and when we come back, we'll dig a little bit into the games around Central Louisiana, some of our 446 family as well. We'll also look back at scores from last week from some of the other schools in 2-5A as well. Stay with us. This is the Bryant Bell Coaches Show. We are live at Jim Deggys Pizza, Highway 28 East, Skyline Plaza. Come by and see us and have a great slice of pizza and enjoy the Bryant Bell Coaches Show on 446 Sports.
It all started with a sketch on a napkin, an idea created by two walk-on bench warmers. And after 10 years of hard work and perseverance to turn their dream into a reality, it's the #1 sports bar in America.
Welcome to Walk On.
Walk-ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
I'm Jason Hall with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jim Deggys Pizza, where we are broadcasting live on Highway 28 East here in Pineville. We appreciate Paul Averett, the owner of Jim Deggys, which, you say, well, where did that name come from? It's not a franchise, is it? No, it's not. It's actually named after his grandfather, and James DiGregorio, and certainly that plays a part in the generations of homemade Italian recipes that have passed down, and Jim's taken that and mixes everything together for his unique signature crust that I'm excited to be able to enjoy after the game, after the broadcast here today. But again, if you have not had the opportunity to eat at Jim Deggys, I want to encourage you to come and visit them here. Obviously, this is something they do to support Pineville High School and support our community. But also, they're in business to survive, and we appreciate Jim Deggys. You can always order one of their hand-tossed 10-inch personal-sized pizzas that comes in a variety of different ways, and again, that signature crust. They also have a cauliflower crust that I really like, and they do all of that in a brick wood-fired oven that revolves around a 700-degree temperature, and within 3 minutes, that pizza is ready to be devoured. So I want to encourage you to come visit our friends here at Jim Deggys Pizza, Skyline Plaza, here on Highway 28 East. We really, really appreciate their support of Pineville Rebel football and 446 Sports. As we take a look, we're only in 2 games into the season. But Nathan, as we take a look at our 2-5A standings, just through that early period of time, kind of, what you expect relative in some ways, but, you look at West Monroe 2-0 on the season, as well as West Washita, Pineville and Ruston both at 1-1 each, along with Washita Parish. And then you look at Ash at 0-2. But we know, and obviously through our following of sports, when you play two of the top 10 teams in the state in your preseason, as Ash did, that certainly accounts for the 0-2 there. As you look at scores, we'll hit some scores for you from last week from 2-5A. Ruston beat Jesuit 35-7. St. Thomas More 49, Ash 21, West Washita 44, Jonesboro Hodge 12, and West Monroe 34, East Ascension 20. So giving you some scores from last week, just to give you a little bit of an idea of how some of the teams in 2-5A did. And, of course, coming into week 3, you've got a full slate of games. It has Natchitoches Central will be playing at Ash. Again, Ash playing on their new turf for the first time. Last week's game was also supposed to be on that turf, but instead it got flipped to St. Thomas More when the turf was not completely ready. Of course, Peabody is at Logansport. You've got West Washita will be playing across town at Richwood. You've got Del High Charter at West Monroe. I thought that was an interesting schedule of a game, but it is what it is. Conway, Arkansas is at Washita, and Ruston is playing Cabot, Arkansas. So did y'all play a lot of Arkansas schools when back in the day?
No, I don't think I've never played against an Arkansas team or coached against.
I mean, I get it. It's fairly close in some ways, but you certainly notice that in the non-district season, non-district schedule, if you will, they certainly do that and cross over and play some of those. So again, that's where some of our District 2 5A schools will be playing this week on 446 Sports. You've got Pine Prairie at Buckeye. You also have St. Mary's at Menard, and of course, Ash will be also one of our 446 schools. They're playing Natchitoches Central, who is 1-1. Coming into the season. Coach, if we can, we want to take a look at the top 10, the Louisiana Sports Writers Association poll, just to give you a little bit of a feel for where things stand as it relates to 2-5A and not just 2-5A, but 5A as you look at the Louisiana Sports Writers Association poll. John Curtis is there at the top right now. They've only played one game because last week's game with Zachary, as we mentioned on last week's show, was postponed or I guess canceled due to they could not decide where to play. And Destrehan there at number 2, and in the first parentheses you have the first place votes by the Louisiana sports writers that participate in that particular poll. Edna Carr followed by Zachary at 4, Catholic of Baton Rouge at 5, Ruston losing their first game of the season but bouncing back last week. St. Augustine, the Purple Knights at 7. Karen Crow at number 8. They beat Ash in week number 1. Not sure who they beat in week number 2. West Monroe 2-0, but with a new coach, interim coach this week after the dismissal of Todd Garvin earlier in the week, who was in his first season at West Monroe. And then the Wrecking Rams from Acadiana are at number 10, and you see some of the other schools that receive votes in that top 10. And Coach, 5A, I mean, it's the top. It's the pinnacle of high school sports. It's indicative of the biggest schools most of the time, but certainly it is indicative of some of the better, well-financed schools as well.
Right. You see that top 10 list, and that's just where we're striving to be.
Right.
Where those teams are, and it's certainly a tough climb, but a climb that we're making.
Well, no doubt, and you talk about the process that goes into that, and I want to get into that more in just a moment as well. But yeah, the names that you saw there are names that we're very familiar with, and especially in the sports circle, the Louisiana High School Athletic Association circle, are names that we're very familiar with as well. So that's what it takes. That's what we're working toward, and we certainly are going to do our best to get there. We're going to take our final timeout, and we invite you to stay with us. We'll come back and kind of put a wrap on things, recap things a little bit for you, get you ready for Friday night, which is right here on us. So stay with us. This is the Bryant Bell Coaches Show. We are live at Jim Deggys Pizza, which is located in the Skyline Plaza off of Highway 28 East. This is the Bryant Bell Coaches Show on 446 Sports.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices. With the right agent this month and every month, taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
And we welcome you back for our final segment of the Bryant Bell Coaches Show. We're live at Jim Deggys Pizza. Can't wait to have me a slice of pizza on cauliflower crust. That's how I prefer it. Their meat pizza is fantastic. Their meatball marinara is also fantastic, and Nathan, you like everything on yours, don't you?
Yeah, I do the whole Deggy. I just like the pizza that's got everything on it.
Everything,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, no anchovies.
All right.
I will admit that.
All right, very good. What's your favorite pizza, Coach?
The exact same thing,
right.
actually. That's what I like.
Now, I got to admit, my kids really love the one with honey and some kind of cheese on it. Honey and goat cheese.
Goat cheese?
What is it? Honey bee, it's called.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And so they always fight me. They want me to order that. I'm like, no, this is my pizza. I get this pizza because I did the show. And
there
like,
you go.
But we want the honey pizza.
Okay. So, well, we'll let y'all battle that out when we get finished here in just a couple of minutes. But
speaking of battling out, I wanted to point out a little something.
All
If
right.
you go back at the District 2-5A standings, when you look at, there's obviously 2 teams tied for first place, 3 teams tied for second place. But I want you to notice who was first of the 3 teams in the order there. It's Pineville at the top of the list there. So, I guess you could go alphabetical, and it would be, Pineville would, N-O-P of B, Washtenaw. But I just, since I'm the creative director here and get to pick who goes, if they're tied, Pineville's at the top. Just wanted to point that out in case anybody.
During the commercial break, I asked him to be creative, And,
I told you, my creativity is sometimes limited to the screen.
And that's what he came up with. So that's good. That's good.
We'll try to be 2-1.
That's right.
There you go. Make it a little bit
that.
easier for you. So, but Coach, we are going into Tioga week and the Tioga game and practice this week. I mean, the weather hasn't been an issue for you. So how has practice gone this week?
It's finally been in the 80s this week, so it's been a good week out of practice. Our players have responded. We came back Monday ready to put last week behind us and roll on, and it's been a flawless week. It's been a really good week.
Well, we talked a little bit too during the break about some of the young men that maybe during the summer weren't making some of the plays that they're making now because it is a regular routine of practice for a specific opponent, the game plan that is put in for that opponent, and you're focused on that one opponent for the period of time that's leading up to the game. And, for the most part, as we hit this Thursday night here, the hay is in the barn, and now you get ready for tomorrow night on what should be a very nice electric atmosphere at Tioga.
No doubt about it. We've also had an opportunity to have a couple of JV games now and maybe find a couple players that we just really weren't on our radar before, and those guys can certainly make a difference in a Friday game plan.
Well, that is great to hear as well, and I know the junior high program is a couple of games into their season too as well, and I believe they're 2-0 on the season. So that is great to hear. And Coach, I saw a comment of you, from you about, the time that it takes to build a program, and the kids that you have this year as on the team. This is your third year with them, and the class that they are. You can really say you've brought that class into this position.
Right. I've been here since the beginning of what's now our junior class's high school time, and in the grand scheme of things, we're still a young team, but we're a year older than last year, and those are the improvements that you're going to see, and our team's done a good job of buying into to what we demand and the culture that we want to build, and it's time to get off the ground and take it to the next level. At this point, it's time to the foundation's been laid. Now it's time to really build.
Well, again, tomorrow night, the North Side Knockout, as Nathan has dubbed it. You can follow the game on Facebook as well, so that hasn't changed. But you can also find us on YouTube, which is a great way to keep up with the game, either at the game or away from the field. And then, of course, you can connect via Twitter as well. So, again, you can go to 446sports.com and follow the drop down menu to pick the obviously the Pineville game. We'll have the broadcast with both what we do, and Nathan Martin and I, but also Robert and Landon Anderson as well. And we're also certainly hoping that you'll follow the game and be there and support the Pineville Rebels. We need it tomorrow night out at Tioga. Great opportunity. What Friday Night Lights is all about is to come out and watch two local schools play each other under the lights on the football field, and just happens to be a rivalry game as well. So we certainly hope it will be that.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And Rich, it'll be your first time in the new Tioga press box.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time.
Will I actually get to be in the press box?
You will not have to climb on the roof.
Oh, okay.
Billy French promised us we would not be on the roof.
Well, that's great. Okay, well, good. Well, then I look forward to it even more now. So.
I do want to mention to you in the Coach Speak show on Sunday night, Billy French had a ton of positive things to say about our coach. I mean, he couldn't gush enough. Even though he's not calling for Pineville, he certainly had a lot of things to say about you, and I don't know if you got a chance to hear that or not, but the interest that you took in his son, the formation that you put in him. And I want to encourage people to listen to the Coach Speak show on Sunday nights. That is really becoming a neat show that 446 Sports puts together. It's called Coach Speak, even though the coaches don't speak on the show. We speak about the coaches and the opportunity.
We get to be the coaches for an hour.
For an hour, X's and O's.
That's
I don't
right.
have the graphic for that, but every Sunday evening, 6 o'clock, great time here on 446 Sports to hear from the different play-by-play guys. I got the feeling for you last week as you were out of town on some city business. But really a great, enjoyable back and forth. And it was a lot of fun. Billy and I kind of squaring up, putting forth our recommendations or our predictions for this week, and looking forward to mine coming true.
There we go. We look forward to it. So, again, join us tomorrow night, 6:45. We'll be on the air with you. Kickoff at 7 o'clock from Tioga High School. For Nathan Martin, Head Coach Bryant Bell, I'm Rich Dupree. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Bryant Bell Coaches Show, live from Jim Deggys Pizza, Highway 28 East in Pineville, coming to you through the courtesy of Jim Deggys and 446 Sports.